Okay, it's Nick Dutch here. I'm just talking very briefly about some responses that Desertphile left to some comments that I made on some of his videos about this whole HHO thing. I mentioned in my replies on the comment section that I was interested in HHO gas for cooking and heating because good results can be achieved with low quantities of energy. And my statement that he's objecting to is the temperatures that the HHO flame can reach are intense and much higher than that which can be achieved with just an electric hob, which is not efficient anyway. To which he says the issue is energy, watts, i.e. power, not temperature. Using oxyhydrogen to heat wastes far more energy than using electricity to heat. The issue is not just energy, is it? The issue is the physical and chemical properties of the oxygen and hydrogen gases when they are combined in this very fierce burning reaction that is the oxyhydrogen effect. We can't say it's just a question of energy, it's a question of how the chemicals themselves release energy and how efficiently you can use it. I mean, I've done some experiments recently with wood gas and wood pellet stoves, and I found that very small quantities of energy extracted from the wood pellets can be used to make enough heat to cook a meal or make a nice cup of tea. It depends on how you use the energy. So it's not just a question of watts and power. Okay, the debate basically goes on. Desertphile says that the 5 to 10% increase in fuel efficiency is difficult to test, since that range can fall into the error bars and be lost in the data. So essentially, if there is an increase, this test by the EPA is not necessarily reliable enough or accurate enough to be able to assess whether there is a particular result. He goes on to say that the EPA tests with 95% confidence level. But if it's a 95% confidence level, then why is he saying that a fuel economy saving of 5 to 10% could be difficult to test? If we talk about this 10% figure, and let's say the results of the use of an oxyhydrogen device provided a 10% apparent increase in fuel efficiency, because of the inefficiency of this test, Desertphile would have to concede that there's a possibility that the device had reached the full 20% as is stipulated in his test, and therefore he would have to fulfill his side of the bargain. So this particular test that he's talking about is not quite good enough to prove the right point as far as the efficiency of an HHO cell system in a car. He says that if the device were observed to increase miles per gallon by 10%, there is still a moderately good chance that the device is not responsible for that observation. Raising the requirements to 20% or greater, the error bar narrows and the level of confidence increases. Well, no, because if we're talking about if 10% is not good enough, then 20% is not good enough either. It does not strike me as a scientific test. Now, the final thing is that I've left a message on, I left a message in the comment section saying, but what if a person has results for fuel saving that is less than 20%, but it's still a saving? Because I personally think that a saving sounds important. To which he says, the issue is confidence in the test results, not just the test results. If a test shows an increase of 6%, one must place a low level of confidence that the device is responsible. The greater the percentage of empathy increase with the device compared to the device off, the greater confidence one can assign that the results are due to the device. But I don't think we can actually say that, bearing in mind that if the device cannot reliably detect a 10% increase in fuel efficiency, there must be a certain boundary whereby 20% would also not be reliable. These are questions which have to be answered. My feeling would be that if this was to be a properly scientific test, it would not be based upon a one-off on one car or one device, but it would be based upon a statistical analysis of a wide range of results on a wide range of vehicles, probably over a long period of time. analyze with, parametric, non-parametric statistical analysis to work out, which engine sizes produce the best results, what type of car produced the best results, what size and design of cell produced the best results, and then try and work out with a secondary batch of tests as to what particular aspects of the whole system is most important or least important, and thus to increase the quantity of knowledge that people have about the use of HHO devices in cars. I suppose the bottom line is I do not have confidence in the Desertphile test. However, and this is the important thing, I am with you, Desertphile, when there are people who make extreme claims and essentially are like you're just conning money out of people because they're making extreme claims. So yes, there has to be some method of investigation into the HHO device. There has to be much more in the way of reliable and scientific testing in terms of how these things can really help you, and to start building a quantity of data about the use of HHO devices. The Desertphile test does not do this. The Desertphile test relies upon one-off, and one-offs are not properly scientific. So I remain ambivalent. I disagree with some of your arguments, Desertphile, but I'm also thoroughly against people extorting money out of customers with the help of false claims. Nick Dutch signing out.